Alright, there we go. We are on to day 3. Let's head on back up and listen to that conversation again.
Say no more. There is an understanding between us. When we further news, we'll let you know.
Thank you, Tiriana. And thanks as well to your partner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have company. Welcome back. I hope things went well at the gathering. Tell me, what do you think the purpose of you going there was?
How are your students coming along?
Helping Helvana was part of it, yes. There was more to your lesson. Whether you realized it or not, you spoke to many types of bard, and hopefully listened to them as well. In fact, I know that you listened, because you caught Heron in one of his lies. You paid attention. You took in the words spoken by others, and truly listened. Very good, yes, very good. You acted like a true bard. I'm pleased with your attitude. After all, a firm foundation must be built before one can progress. I wish to be forthright with you. I am aware of what you are, Dragonborn. It is why I asked you to come to me. You have the power of the Thum, a mighty gift indeed. However, it is a power few recognize the full potential of. And with but a small amount of bardic training, your voice can be so much more.
Would you be able to get me in contact with him?
In a manner of speaking, yes. You see, I cannot teach you a Thum. That is beyond my ability. But I can show you how to better utilize what you already know. Yes, although it would be more precise not to say I knew, but that I felt it. We have similarities, you and I. It is what allowed me to sense what you were, and what will allow me to teach you my secrets.
I'm not sure why that lights up again. This is I think it generally means there's like multiple entries that have that, but one of them is conditioned differently, and some reason that lit up again, but we're not going to ask him again.
Indeed I shall, but not here. Space is too restrictive. I wonder. You see the wall in front of me. Like many things in this world, it is not fully what it seems. Go to the wall, my apprentice, and look beneath the surface.
This beautiful mural was done by Cynical. It does a lot of our concept art, and dusted off some ZBrush skills to hand carve this in 3D software. It came out really nice.
That is all.
I thought this might work. Welcome. I am glad you could make it here. This'll make things a lot easier. How to explain? This is my personal sanctuary, a reality of the mind, as tangible as anything from the world we live in. It is the culmination of decades of experimentation and of the abilities I shall teach you. That is, if you feel ready. It is difficult to explain. From my understanding, there are realms beyond the world we know. This being such a place. I believe it to be shaped by my thoughts and memory. How it came to be is something I am not quite ready to share. The same could be said of any bard. We are each more than our professions might suggest. But I grasp your meaning, and you would be correct. Have patience. In time, you will understand all you need to know of me. Yes, I believe that you are. You have already passed my first lesson. You have shown at least some aptitude in the skills of a bard. Perhaps it will be enough. So, pay attention and learn. Yo! Yes, your senses do not deceive you. Like yourself and a handful of others, I too am able to produce a thum. Now, observe and listen carefully. Yo! Did you hear it? Did you hear the accompaniment? And yet you will see I hold no instrument. And you have my word, it was no parlor trick of a mage. What you just witnessed is the first thing I will teach you. I call it a resonating shout. Close your eyes, and again, listen. Shared with you my knowledge of this ability. You are a bard, so I believe you should be able to comprehend. Now, in order to perform a resonating shout, you'll require the aid of a resonance crystal. Lucky for you, I have one right here. When imbued with the soul of a dragon, this crystal traps and amplifies your thum, granting it new potential and power. I have placed the crystal on this pedestal. Perform a shout you wish to trap and empower. Aim it at the crystal and ready yourself.
Alright, let's see if I remembered. Yep, I got Unrelenting Force. I think Unrelenting Force is the one most people go with, and it's actually one of the more useful ones, especially because it unlocks a little secret. So I highly recommend doing Unrelenting Force as your first one here.
Force! Very good. Now you must defeat the echo of your shout. Have no worries. It's all part of the process.
Now, if you want to make things easier on yourself, if you stand by this crystal, it constantly recharges your shout. So you can just keep shout locking this guy. Oh wow, that was quite the launch. I think his ragdoll like bounced up over here, and that's where the thing is attached to, even though he's actually over here. That's so funny. Got ourselves our nice shiny crystal. This was, I saw some of the work in progress of how this got done, and it was like all hand carved in ZBrush. Ton of work.
Wonderful. You are a quick learner. The crystal in your possession. If you perform that same boom again, it'll now be a resonating shout. Go ahead, try it for yourself.
Oh, look at that echo.
Music to my ears. I am pleased at your progress. I had worried this might not work. It is a long story. I am not dragonborn, and I do not follow the ways of Jurgen Windcaller as the Greybeards do. But there are other, older ways to gain knowledge of the tomb. Wonderful, isn't it? I won't pretend I fully understand, but I do have my suspicions. I believe the music you hear is the essence of your very soul. You are simply allowing it to come forth, giving it form. If I'd not passed on the knowledge, let you develop your own technique instead, perhaps your soul's essence would be expressed in a different way. Trial, error, and many, many years of practice. I'm in a somewhat unique position, having intimate knowledge of the bardic arts and of the thum. And there are other factors as well. As I expected. After all, you are Dragonborn. Almost any thum you have can be enhanced in the manner you just performed. All you need do is place a crystal on the pedestal, imbue it with the soul of a dragon, then speak the desired shout. Here, take these. That's all the resonance crystals I have. They do not yet hold dragon souls, though. That is a task for yourself. In theory, yes. Perhaps some shouts are more suited, others less so. It'll be up to you to find what works best. Such crystals are rare and not easily sourced, but I will look into getting more for you. Until then, make do with what you have. You can always cleanse a crystal to remove the shout trapped within. But be aware, if you do that, you'll have to start the process of trapping the Thum all over again.
Where can I find dragon souls? Yeah, I know where to get those, thanks.
Besides myself, you are the only person able to perform a resonating shout. I hope you make wise use of this power. I suggest you take some time to practice and hone your new ability. It may take some getting used to. What I heard of your voice, it appears your understanding of the dragon tongue is still rudimentary. It may be prudent to improve your lexicon. You should speak with Professor Tiriana. She can provide you with locations where you may discover more words of power. Your lesson for today is over, but feel free to explore my sanctuary. There are many things here that could be of use to you. When you wish to leave, you need only exit the way you entered. And if you've the need to return, well, I'm sure you can figure that out. And take this. If you ever need to come here quickly, that'll explain how you can do so. Just be prepared to do some legwork. I will send word when your presence is next required. Till then, practice, and be well, my apprentice.
I love the background sounds. It's kind of got like some space whale vibes going on. Really changed the mood of this place to make it feel more ethereal. All right, I got a lot to say about this place because this place is, I love this place. So this came about out of a necessity. So one of the ways I like that we work on these projects and kind of come up with everything is we kind of go back and forth between theme, story, and mechanics about how we build things. So it'll, something might start out as like, hey, we got this cool mechanic idea, or hey, we got this theme, we want to build a thing around it. And then as we evolve one of them, like, so say we come up with some new mechanic, then we'll start to form a story that leads us there. And then it might be that the story needs such and such a moment, and the mechanic needs this. So in this case, when we started coming up with the shout stuff, like the fact that the player could enhance shouts, and we wanted it to be a mystery about what was going to be happening and let it be a trial and error thing. Let the player experiment. So I was like, okay, well then we're going to need somewhere the player can practice, right? Because if you shout in the middle of anywhere, you could randomly hit a friendly NPC and turn people against you, which is not cool. So we needed a place that was totally isolated. And so then the Sanctuary was born as a place for that, and then we were able to work that into part of the story, and it actually plays out. Quite a bit of stuff happens because of this. And we were able to show a bunch of visual things with that. But having a place where you could practice was important, and we needed some way, how does the player decide what shouts to get upgraded? Because we don't want to have to do, this is one of the things that we're doing differently with the stuff that we're putting in VC versus what we do with sim settlements. With sim settlements, we're okay with sometimes we gotta do janky menus, right? You guys think about like the building plan selection in sim settlements, and it's just you're selling things to an invisible vendor. It's pretty hacky, right? But it's like, it's fine. It gets the job done. Whereas with this system, whereas in the stuff we're doing in VC, where as much as humanly possible, we're like, all right, we can't do things through these normally janky ways. We have to like figure out how would Bethesda have done it and come up with something more unique. So then that's how we came up with this whole capture a shout in a system, so that you're capturing it, that is you choosing it, imbuing the dragon soul is like your confirmation, and then fighting the thing is kind of like your trial to earn it. So it everything is kind of designed more around that, of like, we're not allowed to use like janky hack menus. Everything has to feel like a natural part of the game, which is a good challenge, and forces us to kind of think a lot differently about it. We can't just take the a lot of times, like the stuff that ships in SS2 for mechanics is whatever I could whip up in my time when I was working on it, right? I'll have so much time to develop a mechanic, and then I'll be like, I just got to get something basically working, and then, you know, we'll polish it up over time. But a lot of times the first draft is a little rough around the edges in the free stuff, but in these things where we're like, all right, if we're going to ask people to pay for these things, we have to spend the time and get the right people and make them top tier. You'll notice that this, you know, showing off the crystal, but we also have, like, when you do the resonant shout, there's these like crazy effects that come flying at your camera. You see those, like, the pink little trails. One of the early things we realized when we started this project was we were going to need to get a proper VFX artist, and I asked around the community, talking to all sorts of people about who to work with for that, and everybody kept saying Kitty Tail is the absolute best in the community. So fortunately, she had some time on her calendar, and we hired her to make all the visual effects for this. There was a few I think we made ourselves, but most of them she did and absolutely crushed them. If you want some really cool spell effect replacers or new spell packs for Skyrim, go search for Kitty Tail. I'll type it in chat. On Nexus, and she has got some just amazingly beautiful spell effect mods for Skyrim. So if you want some more of her work that you've seen in here, any type of spell effects that seem custom in here, she probably did those for us. So anyway, this place was really cool because there's that portal. I was saying there's a portal that she made for us as well that I thought came out really cool. And then of course we needed, with the resonant shouts, we needed a sound effect to go with it. And since everything is bard tied in, we tried to do a musical theme, so it's got kind of some chimes in it. So there's a lot of any new sound effects we had in here, we tried to add in kind of a musical flourish to them to keep on theme for this. One of the reasons you'll want to grab Unrelenting Force as your first one is because periodically you're going to find...
I see you have found something.
Oh, we got this line in finally.
For me, the way's clear. You, perhaps not.
Where you hear the chanting, that means there's a wall nearby.
We must remove any obstructions that impede our path. For that, we usually require the right tool for the job.
So this was him hinting at how you might do it. There's a second hint in one of our dungeons where there's symbols on the wall near a similar door that lists the name of the shout in the dragon tongue. So any version of Unrelenting Force, once you've got the Resonance Crystal for it, will unlock these doors. There's 3 of them throughout the project. And these unlock a shout that was actually in the base game and unused, and we hadn't found any mods that brought it back, which maybe there are some, but we did our own take on it, and I think this was implemented by Imperial, who does a lot of our implementation now of the non-sim settlement stuff. So it creates a lot of the magic effects and figures out how to do some of the mechanics. Like I will do a lot of prototyping stuff, but now he's kind of taken over on a lot of the implementation side of new fancy mechanics, and now I'm more of an idea man in that department. And it's really cool the way it ends up working. So our Phantom makes a clone of the player. It usually looks like the player. And we've even got it programmed to try and use whatever the player had equipped at the time. So if you have like a fireball spell equipped, it'll try and use a fireball. If you've got a bow equipped, it'll try and use a bow. It's not always reliable because the AI in this game kind of just does what it wants, but that's what it attempts to do. And it feels pretty cool when it works, like when it actually does what you expected it to.
A lot of trial and error in the creation of that particular apparatus. If you ever wish to capture a Thum in a resonance crystal, you need only place the crystal upon the pedestal, imbue it with the soul of a dragon, and then perform the desired shout. Defeat the resulting echo, then enjoy your new enhanced Thum.
Now this I really like. This we ended up creating, for this too, we ended up having custom models created for these again from that same perspective of like, in Sims Elements or any free mod, we might just kit bash something or, find something base game that wasn't used a lot and just use that, maybe retexture it. But for this, we tried to, again, not cut any corners, like make sure that these things stand out as unique, but still feel very much like they belong in the game world. So we based it off of the Nordic rune style in the base game and, a lot of like dragon-esque bits within them. But those were custom designed assets specifically for this, and we're going to keep trying to do that. I know there'll always be some cases, and I'm sure there's some things we can find in bards where it was just like, they just retextured that, or that was repurposed. But anything that's mechanically significant or things that you're going to be engaging with a lot, we're going to try and get custom assets made for them, so it doesn't feel like we're just being hacky and cheap. It's like, you guys are paying good money for this. We're going to deliver you guys something solid, something that feels like it could have shipped with the game is kind of the goal. And then lastly, we have again another copy of the mural here, but this one is actually a skill tree.
When you look upon that mural, I suspect you see something different than I do. The mural offers a reflection of experiences both past and future. A window to roads you will travel or already have. Whenever you feel inspiration tug at your soul, I'd recommend you take some time to study and reflect upon the mural.
So this was something we talked about early on of like, oh, we kind of want a skill tree for it. We tried to see if we could interface with that system. It is hard-coded in the EXE. There's no way to do it. So the mods that support those additional trees that look like this have to use the script extender, which obviously was a deal breaker for us because we want this to work on Xbox. We want it to feel base game. We don't. I've had this conversation about why we don't require the script extender for some settlements. Same reason would have applied here, is that while those of a lot of you guys who are watching probably use the script extender and think nothing of it, it is a minority of players that use the script extender because it's complicated. Most players who play these games, like the Bethesda edition of the mods menu to Skyrim Special Edition and Fallout 4 was like a huge boon for the modding scene. Like, so many players who would just never touch mods because they're intimidating suddenly did, and I think that's important. I think we got to open up we got to ease the cost of entry to get more people a chance to try this stuff out. So I can quickly go over what they do. So spiritual connection is while you have companions, you gain a boost here. You can see your stamina and magicka will regenerate. I think I'm actually going to take draconic knowledge though, because we're so low level. This is super powerful. So draconic knowledge, the more words of power you know, the faster your skills will improve. So we're definitely going to take that one. And we use the same art as the main skill menu, again, just to make sure we had that tie into the skill menu. So when you see them light blue, it means they're available to grab. Purple, not available yet, and they highlight that gold color once you have selected them. So there are a whole bunch of things that get you bardic inspiration, and we basically have an invisible XP tracker, because again, just like the same reason that we can't tag into this menu because it's hard-coded into the EXE, so are the skill actor values. So bardic inspiration is kind of all invisibly tracked, and it does all the things you might think of bards based on what we're showing you with bards. So obviously, like dueling, the Duel of Wit does it, playing music does it, shouting does it, reading books does it, discovering new locations does it. There's a whole bunch of different things that are tracked in the background. But the idea is basically as you're playing the game, you will naturally unlock more things. And if you want to do it, if you want to unlock more bardic inspiration faster, play a lot of music, do a lot of shouting. So that's how you'll get through this tree faster. All right, so that is my whole spiel about this place. I love the way this place came out, and I'm very excited to go show you guys a bunch of shouting now.
I snuck into the sanctuary. Bad habit of mine. Sorry for sticking my nose in, but I couldn't help myself. I wanted to see you practicing. I'm amazed at how quickly you learned the resonating shout. Once, I tried to convince Sledric to teach it to me. But considering I can't even produce a thum... Sure. I mean, with enough practice, anyone can learn a thum. Well, okay, maybe it requires a lot of practice. And some natural talent. And years of study. But if Sledric can do it, then I don't see why one day I can too. Oh, well, mostly history, I suppose. Things relating to dragons and such. I don't think it's escaped your notice that our master has a vested interest in such things. I don't want to get in trouble, or ruin the pace of your training. But, did you notice those crystals in there? They're an important part of what allows the sanctuary to exist. They're also the key to one of Sledric's more powerful abilities. I know he intends to teach you more about the crystals, and what they can do.
For those of you playing through for the first time, if you would, I'm going to just spoil this because I know, because you don't get another chance if you screwed up. If you are kind to Helvana and ask her lots of questions, she becomes an option to marry later on through the, I'm trying to remember the priest. There's the priest in Riften you can go to and you can get the marriage amulet.
Oh, thanks. I didn't expect you to say that. Always nice to see you too. Say, before you go, it might be a good idea to brush up on some of your bardic skills. If the skill of wordplay intrigues you, I'd recommend introducing yourself to Mistress Valerie, the college storyteller. Your choice, of course. I won't keep you any longer. Bye for now.
Hey, we just got another bardic inspiration. I just realized that line she just said about Valerian. I've never heard that before in all my places. I think she has one for each of the professors. So she will play one at random if you've met them all, or none at all, and then she'll play one you haven't met yet, which is pretty awesome. I'm gonna go start the Valerian stuff, but first let's go back in real quick and spend our point. It doesn't take that long. All right, let's go with empowered voice. I actually could see going with spiritual connection as well, but I do want to start unlocking one of the trees. And we haven't even unlocked music yet, so we'll go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. Wake up. I want a job.
Oh, another student.
Feels like there should be a wake me up from sleep
Dean of Storytelling,
message option where they yell at you.
It is my responsibility to ensure all of our students have a firm grasp on the importance of words and their uses. I also arrange and manage any performances or services that the Bard's College may provide. Tell me, do you have any interest in the application of the spoken word? And how it may sway and influence those around us? If so, we should speak. Very well, I shall indulge you. Briefly. First, you will address me as Mistress Valerian. I oversee the education of aspiring bards who wish to master articulation. My expertise lies in the art of persuasion and diplomacy, via the careful manipulation of the spoken word. My methods can sometimes seem unorthodox to others, but they yield results. No one can deny that. Could it be? Has the college finally received a student who's interested in more than just plucking strings or singing some dour dirge? Assuming that to be the case, allow me to be blunt. I could use one such as you. However, only if you're willing to learn via practical application. I have had my fill of students who merely study theory, only taking my lessons to improve their lyrical prowess. But if you're serious in learning the power of the spoken word, I will teach you. I shall pass to you the skills of an emissary. Emissaries are the architects of persuasion, weavers of influence. We sculpt perceptions with every word. Our clients rely on us to be their voice, to advocate on their behalf. For a skilled emissary can turn the tide of fate with but a single sentence. We are the conduits of diplomacy, the harbingers of negotiation. Our words are our weapons, and silence our shield. Learn to wield them wisely, and you will go far. Enthusiasm. I like that. Very well. Let's see if you have what it takes. We shall begin your lesson. Ahem. You have been contracted to act on behalf of a client. You stand waiting in a tavern. There, you spot the merchant you are hired to speak with. The client has requested you put the merchant in a receptive mood in order to facilitate a future business transaction. This is where your skills as an emissary come into play, as there are many methods in which to coax a desired reaction from someone. When speaking to your mark, you could employ a heartening tone, assuming that they are receptive to valor and daring egotism. Or perhaps you can foster a whimsical mood for those who seek indulgence or are of a capricious nature. A dramatic flair may captivate others, grand exaggerations, theatrics, and the like. While some may favor an enigmatic strategy, with little of true substance said, but leaving them with a deep sense of intrigue. It will be up to you to discern the correct approach and to craft your words accordingly. I shall teach you that. Now, for this exercise, I shall play the role of the merchant you were sent to meet. First, observe. Read my demeanor. I am a large, portly man, sitting at a table surrounded by many empty flagons. I am high-spirited and quite jocular. I cheer and applaud the antics of a nearby jester, and when I greet you, it is with a smile and an elaborate doff of my large feathered cap. Now,
I love the way she says that.
tell me, if you wish to build positive rapport, how would you address such a person? What would be your choice of words?
Let's see here. I'm gonna go with dramatic.
Ha! Yes! Excellent! You picked up on the merchant's temperament and mirrored it back perfectly. Well done. In this instance, you couldn't have given a better response. But do bear in mind, you don't always have to be perfect. Your mark may also respond positively, if less so, to other approaches. You must always be testing the waters. Remember that. And perhaps you are ready for something more practical. Yes, I think you might be. So, do let me know when you're ready for your first assignment. As an official emissary of the Bard's College.
Let's go.
Yes, I do have something that may serve for you to cut your teeth on. You see, I have a network of canaries that help keep me apprised of local goings-on. However, my network has not weathered recent events as well as it could have. This includes the loss of my source within the Solitude City Guard. I have, however, identified a suitable replacement. One easy enough to recruit, with even elementary knowledge of my emissary techniques. So, I want you to convince him to trade his knowledge for my gold.
Alright, let's see. What happened to your old source? What do you require information from a guard? What more can you tell me about this guard? No, we're not going to say no to this.
He lost his head. Quite literally. If he had only taken the time to pass information on to me rather than committing treason, things would be so much more agreeable right now. The city guards can be an invaluable source of information, especially during these violent times. In a single day, they may go from interrogating the basest of criminals to standing unnoticed behind nobles planning their matters of state. Recently, he witnessed what happens to traitors, and seeing your colleague beheaded can make a man careful about his actions. But this man has a young family whose needs outstretch his pay, so he is conflicted between loyalty and feeding those he loves. Excellent. The guard's name is Norland, and you will likely find him at his regular posting inside the city gates. Return to me once you've discussed the matter with him, preferably with good news.
Okay. I love Valerine's voice actress so much. That is Tara Langella, who has actually been in a bunch of games recently. And it's funny, right before we launched Bards, she announced she was one of the lead voice actresses in the latest ESO expansion. I think it's in Gold Road. I don't remember which character she plays. And I just noticed the other day I was updating all of our credits for SS2 because we have the credits scroll at the end of Chapter 3, and I realized she was in there too, which is pretty cool.
Ah, a newcomer. A student, perhaps? Yes, I think that you are. Hello to you. I'm Professor Tiriana, head scholar and record keeper here at the college. It is my job to unravel tales of old, finding the truth within. If you ever seek knowledge of ancient places or hidden relics, you should speak to me. Regardless, I hope you enjoy your time here at the college. Ah, yes, ancient places, ruins, lost landmarks, forgotten tombs, the echoes of history. I can consult my extensive records and guide you to these locales. Yes. What's more, the places you seek need not be lost to time. I can help fill in the gaps on your map with contemporary locations as well. A flick of my quill is all that's needed. And of course, a generous donation to the college.
Alright, an extra lesson for you to expand both your mind and voice. Seek out this tablet of ancient knowledge at Orothyme. If you wish to find more, ask Tiriana if she has anything special. She will know what you seek. The rewards will at first not be obvious, but great bards look beneath the surface of such things and know that with time and effort the truth will be revealed. Drink. Okay. So let's ask her about
tidings. Of course. Just tell me what you're looking for.
Have anything special? Here we go.
Special? I don't know. Wait. I do have something, yes. Sledrick requested I investigate a number of local legends, and at least one bore fruit. Let me mark it on your map. This is where all my research points to. I'm not sure what you'll find, but it seems to involve dragons. Good luck in your exploration.
Well, let's go do Valerine's real quick first, because that is in town.
What is it? Can't you see I'm busy? I can't be seen making casual conversation. It's my duty to watch and protect this magnificent city from any threat that may rear its head, lest I lose mine. Oh, thank you. It's an honor to wear this uniform. People respect it. Well, those that matter. Most people take pride in having a guard in the family. The pay is decent, and most listen well to your words. But it's a lot to lose if someone reckons you've done wrong. You arrived about the time of the execution, right? That's what happens when those in charge decide a lowly guard has stepped out of line. You're right. I'm loyal to my city and my Jarl. No one could compare myself to that traitor. And it's not as if Rogrier can be a bad influence anymore. But there'll always be temptation. Some of us earn barely enough to feed our families. Is it really a surprise a guard will sometimes stray? Talking to a bard is innocent enough. And they give coin, you say? I'm not sure, but let's say someone did have interesting things to say. How might he find a bard to help turn those words to gold? Yes. Good, good. I'll be sure to look out for them. Thank you.
Ah, there you are. Any success with Norland?
Maybe we shouldn't talk about it right in front of this dude.
That is good news. Well done. I'll make contact with him shortly. This wasn't a difficult task, but you have saved me some effort and thus earned yourself a reward. Here you are. Spend it in good health. You did well. I may require assistance with more tasks, so do check in with me from time to time, if you are so inclined. Until then...
I think she has another one right away if you talk to her again.
Speak. I do indeed. Now that I've satisfied my need for local knowledge, I think it worthwhile to expand the reach of my little network. I want you to talk to Tenhana, a young Redguard girl working at the city stables. She spends much of her day chatting with the carriage drivers, exchanging a wealth of tales from across the land. Good. Remember my teachings, and I have every confidence that you will succeed.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, you joke, Sledge. I have a message for you because I ran toward her like that. We've talked about doing, like, could we do a courier thing where, like, the player can be a courier for a while and have that be fun? And that would probably have to be one of the quests, chase down somebody who's running away from you.
Sorry, I'm taking a break. I wasn't shirking, honest. I'm just catching up on some reading is all. And did you want something? Yes, that's right. Some stories make me feel like a giant. There are sad ones and scary ones too, but the hero always saves the day. Usually. But books aren't the only place to find stories. Some of the best tales are the ones that were never written down. Oh, yes, absolutely. I don't have much time to spend in taverns, but when I do, it's just as you say. Mostly, I make do with stories from carriage drivers. They hear so much on their travels, and while I tended their horses, so often they'll tell those interesting tales. Oh my, you say I'm a... but they'd really want to share stories? With me? Perhaps you're right. The things I hear should be shared with others, to help write new stories to be sung throughout the ages. Besides, sharing tales with a bard sounds a lot more fun than dealing with horses all day. I think I'll start writing some down right now.
Right.
So, how did you fare at the stables? That is good news. I shall have to pay her a visit before she finds some other bard to listen to her tales. Here is your reward. Well earned. Well, now that concludes this exchange. But I may have more work for you later, if you're inclined. Until then.
All right, let's do the one that has 2 in it, just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone really easily. So we'll head to Dawnstar and we can wander our way over there. Looks like we already got the fast travel point. All right, let's follow this guy. Where's he going? I would like a mount, and I would like to not have to steal it. So if I can get this nice reindeer mount for free, I will take it. Oh, this guy, you're gonna sell me one? Sell me a reindeer? I mean, I'm buying it. We're gonna buy ourselves a reindeer. This guy looks nice and colorful, like a proper bardic mount here. And we're gonna need a mount to show off the fact that you can play instruments on a mount later. There we go. Now we're the bard who rides around on a reindeer. It's perfect. All right, off to the next spot. Oh, is my mic echoing? Well, that's unfortunate. All right, what is wrong with this shout? Dragon souls are required. I have 2 dragon souls. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. There's a different button to unlock it. There we go. All right, so now we have, so let's see what we got equipped. So we have a sword equipped. Let's equip Healing in Flames. And then we'll Phantom Form. And then he, if we get in a fight, oh, we got no one to get in a fight with. But you can see he's got no weapons equipped because we had spells equipped. He's got our same gear and everything. I think it'll even have our same face. Oh, wow, he didn't last very long. And the Phantom Form gets extended by having higher ranks of it. I like the idea of it being a way to represent. Oh, can't pass my mount through there. Okay, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. Run, reindeer. Oh god, it's got a killer goat. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Lydia. My bad. And I think this cave has like some insane overpowered chest here. Let's see. Yeah, you just get like all these crazy spells right away. I think I'll just sell them all. So I'm not going to play a spellcaster. Alright. Go, Phantom. Use your flame spell. Let's see if he does it. Yes, he's doing it. Love it. Love it. Surprise! Oh, I hate when shouts fail. Cannot cast while shouting. I'm not shouting. I have no idea what causes the shouts to fail, but we did determine it's a vanilla game issue. It's really obnoxious. Wait, did you take him down? Nice work, Lydia. Alright, I guess we can just loot everybody naked here, because we're going to set up the East Empire to come take everything. And we will send it to... We're going to keep sending everything to... Next. Okay, I have stations at a lot of places. Morthal. We want Whiterun now. So wait, what was that? So we have Windhelm, Winterhold, Morthal, and Whiterun. So we don't have Dawnstar set up yet, so we should do that on our way through. Use this location. Whiterun, East Empire Merchant. Perfect. Alright, let's go back to Dawnstar, and we are going to try and convince the Jarl or find out what they need. I actually think I might have the note. Let's see, do I have the note from Quarren on how to convince them? Oh, I don't have the note from him yet. Well, let's see if I just happen to have the ability to convince him. Oh, this is the Pale. Okay. Alright. I always get mixed up with the hold names and the town names. Let's see. I understand local storekeepers are currently displeased with the quality of the goods and materials being sent their way. Bring proof of this to Skald, and he may be more willing to cooperate. Okay, so I wonder if that's a hint to go to the stores?
We're not soldiers anymore.
Your
I'm gonna wait though, because a lot of the hints are inside the Jarl's longhouses.
Should I make of that?
All right, let's see if we can find. All right, well, first we'll talk to him, just see if we happen to have a good option. I doubt it, but
This nightmare problem, I don't need you. Let's hear it.
I doubt my persuade is good enough, but let's try it.
I won't have them here. Looking for rubies in rubbish?
All right, and
Don't
1800.
bother me again unless it's important.
A little steep, buddy. All right, let's see if you got any notes laying around. I like that they just don't care that I wander around their rooms. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Lydia, I need you to stand here and block her. I'm just going to run up there real quick.
A potion, maybe? Popular with young men.
All right, let's go sprint. Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Okay, steal. Good, good. We made it. We made it. She didn't see anything. She didn't see anything. It's fine. Run, go, get out of here. Get out of here. Go, 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 go.
I'm Skull's house.
Unless you're here to solve this nightmare problem.
You sounded like a Cylon for a moment. Yeah, I hear my stream is doing a lot of random echoing. I have no idea why. I think it's just problematic internet or slow PC. Unsure which.
Let's hear it.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. The people fear for their future if they learn you deny them wealth. Coerce.
Come now. It can't possibly be true.
Wait, did he just ignore me?
Come now. It can't possibly.
I wonder if I need a second.
Bother me again.
Hold on a second. Let's look at that note. Maybe there was more to that concerned note. We have the coin to more prosperous settlements. Merchants are aware this is offload the inferior stock into us. They know we've no option but to accept. Things going to say I fear for our future. I don't know if this one's, if that's a skill check, if that's bugged. I don't know what's going on there. I thought that was an automatic pass. Maybe we need to have more of those notes. Honestly, don't remember. All right, I think we're going to have to just buckle down and pay the gold until I figure out what's going on. All right, he's not interested.
For that price? Sure. Tell your people at the company I accept it.
Thank you very much.
I'm here to lend my magic to the people of Dawnstar.
Nick Carter, did you play any of the Tactics Ogre games? I did not. Tactics were a game, it was a genre that I didn't get into immediately. Like I played them here and there and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. The game that sold me on Tactics, where I was like, I am so into this genre now. It's funny, I've had this with a lot of genres where I just immediately they didn't click for me, and then I played a game all of a sudden where it did click for me, and then I understood the genre, and now I like more of the games. That's roguelikes for another one where I didn't like the genre in general, and then all of a sudden I played Hades and I was like, I love this genre, and now I'll play any of them. And for Tactics games, the one that got it for me was Mario vs. Rabbids, which is just this insanely ridiculous tactics game with the Rabbids from the Rayman games, and then Mario, and it's the gameplay is fantastic. It's a super streamlined, simplified version, like to the point where I let at the time he was my 6-year-old play it, and he got it, and it was like, this is great. Like, and it still felt like it had enough depth where I was enjoying it too. All right, we are going to do one more thing before I end for the night. We're going to go and turn in. We'll take Valerian's. No, we'll not take Valerian's quest. We'll do that next time. Let's go return Panthea's flute, and we will get ourselves our first instrument training. That's what we'll do for the night before we end tonight. So we can next play session we can run around playing instruments. All right, let's do that. Make sure that somebody is right here. We go. Hey.
Good evening. That's it. Wonderful. I knew I could count on you. I don't have any money to give you, but I can show you.
Hey, level progress.
Now you can say you've met the most talented bard in all of Skyrim.
Thank you. Oh, that's right. Turning in those instruments, they teach you like a whole bunch of random skills. All right, what do we got here? We're gonna keep going with Magicka because that's the rod that I think makes the most sense for me to use when we get to chanting, which you guys will understand a little bit later. So I want a pretty good magic pool for it, and I don't intend on getting a hit a lot once we switch over to that playstyle. I think I was going to save a point because we talked about one of the spells, the heal other spell. I think might be the next level up. Still only at 53 on there. Okay, yeah, we're just probably going to hang on to our skills for a little bit here. This is the only one I really want. It's so hard to get your speech skill up. Alright, yeah, I'll just hang on to my skill points for now. Return to Olvis. Okay. Alright, Olvis is... Wait, somebody's out here. I wonder if it's Olvis coming back from Linking Ski. I think that's where he goes to play at night.
Pardon me.
Hey, buddy.
I've got some salmon.
Need something? Yes, I heard you'd recovered an instrument.
That's amazing you heard that. It just happened down the street.
Provide you a music lesson. I'd be delighted to. What would you like to learn?
Gotta go with the lute. Love the lute.
Ah, the lute. A noble instrument. When played by a skilled bard, it can lift the very spirit of those around you, enhancing their flow of magicka. Is this what you wish to learn?
Yes, teach me the lute.
First, let's get comfortable holding it. Feel its weight, its balance. Now, let's talk about strings. Each has its own temperament, and together they sing in harmony. A gentle touch, that's key. Now, watch my hands. You learn well. But do remember, every bard once stumbled. Mistakes? They're just steps on the path to mastery. That lute is now yours, finely made and properly tuned. Its strings carry more than just music. Play it and watch the magicka of your allies flow.
Okay, there we go. So now we've got our instrument, which the way we implemented this is it's actually a piece of armor. We did that for a couple of reasons. One is that you can favorite it, which is nice. And using it then doesn't trigger the message. So when we originally were prototyping, we had it set up like you would come in here and use it. Like you would just you just click it and you would say, can I equip this item? And it was like, oh, that feels really janky. So we got rid of that. And now we have it as a favorited item. Hey, there we go. And we can right trigger to change songs. So so when you first push your right hand attack, it switches you to like battle mode. So it's like you've got your weapon out, which is why Lydia pulled her weapon out. Oh, we got a busking page. Oh, it was Olvis. He's giving us a tip. And then once you're in this mode where the camera's locked behind you and it looks like you have your weapon out, you can right trigger to change songs. And we have it set up to, it allows you to play all the vanilla songs, and then we included a few songs, and then as you unlock the ballads, you get access to play the music that goes behind those as well. And this is a system that is injectable, so people will be able to inject additional songs into it in the future, which I think there's probably a lot of mods that add custom lute songs too, so it'll be nice when we can incorporate with those. Another thing we figured out recently that will be in the next Bard's College patch is we restructured, Imperial in particular on our team did that. He's a genius with this stuff. Figured out how to restructure our system so that we can actually have different variations of the instruments in, so we can have like different instruments that have like different enchantments on them and different skins. Like before when we originally did this, the way it was gonna, in order to add a different skin or a different effect, it was gonna be a real pain in the butt. All the records we're gonna have to create, and he found a better way to do it. So we'll likely be, one of the things I would love to do in the future will be different versions of the instruments that affect different stats. So that way it's, by default it's like lute is magicka, flute I think is health, and drums are stamina. And like that was just, we were just trying to create some interesting ties to the kind of magic that, because clearly it's something magical with all the effects. You really want the effects for usability purposes, but it's like, well, you kind of got to explain those in universe. And so having a version of the instrument you could craft that lets you mix and match, because I think really like everybody wants to play a different instrument. They'll have a different instrument for different times. Maybe you want to play the lute when you're wandering around. Maybe you want to play the drums while you're in battle or whatever. But I think disconnecting it from the stat bonus, I think would be cool. And then also, if we could have enchantments on them to do more interesting things. And, we'll probably tie them to music, but once we have that in, then people could mod it and add in enchantments to do whatever they want, or make them enchantable at the workbench or something. So now we can wander around. This was like, so when we first had this, you couldn't walk with it, which is how a lot of instrument mods work. I know that, I think J Serpos has it so you can move around. But there were some that were out at the time when we invented this. Like everybody's was pretty much the same thing. You would use it and it would just put your character into third person, and they would play the default vanilla animations, and then Imperial figured out how to make it so that you could walk, and I was like, that's incredible. And then he figured out how to make it so you could sprint. Then he figured out how you could jump, and then the ultimate thing he figured out, well, there's two crazy ultimate things he did with this. Figured out how to make it so, I'm trying to find a safe spot to do this, like we need to leave town. Figured out how to make it so that you can shout, which I'm afraid to do because I'm going to piss off everybody all around me. Let's get away from town.
I don't abide fancy clothes, but you look like you might. I hear Radiant Raiments has a large selection.
Thank you, I've been there. And we can do shouting while using instruments, which is so awesome. And then the real best is riding horses while playing. Or reindeer. No! No! Get away from me! Maybe he'll tip me. Oh, I wonder if this is ours. This is probably going to be Sledric. Wait, no, it's not him, because I think the...
Let's see. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Let me check. Is it? Is ours? I don't think it is, because I think ours, he says, like, somebody from the Bard's College. Like, we have a custom line for it. Let's see. What did we get? Yeah, I think it's probably just another Creation Club thing. I think the Creation Club stuff is all set up to be, you just randomly get it throughout your time playing. Let's see. No. There it is, dinner invitation. Dinner and drinks at Blood Chill Manor. As honored guests are encouraged to come early and mingle with all the other attendees. Ready to feast. Okay, that sounds like invitation from vampires. Let's ride our reindeer, and as long as you have the instrument equipped, when you click to ride your mount, you will just pull your instrument out again. It's wonderful. There's also just like a lot of little nuancy stuff he put in there. He just went really deep on this, which I really appreciated. Like if you stealth, you play the music a little quieter. If you play in combat, it switches to faster tempo so that you're playing like it's in fact, my favorite thing is the combination. You play in stealth and then get yourself into combat, and then you're just playing quiet, fast music. It feels so ridiculous, but awesome. Alright, I think playing instrument, hanging out at a reindeer. Outside of Solitude, this is a great spot to end for the night. Great spot to leave my save file. Wondering what the heck I'm doing. Oh, it looks like I'm about to get in a fight with a mud crab. Maybe Lydia will come over and save the day. Oh, there goes our mud crab. Oh, look, there goes the combat music. Listen. And he's got it set up to replace the vanilla combat music that would normally kick in. So it's just the soundtrack. Oh, it's wonderful. All right, guys, I'm taking off. Have a good night.